How you doing, everybody? So today we're going to go over some of the Datamine cards. We also have a bundle to talk about. Looking through the cards, there's a couple of interesting ones for me. It definitely seems like they're trying to hit every type of player. So we're gonna go through the cards, what I think about them, and some of the potentials to be seen. Let's get started. We're just gonna cover the gold bundle here. We have Starlit Surprise. It's ending pretty soon, so did want to cover it. It's not the best bundle, I would say, that they've released anytime. So this is definitely something you can skip if you're not really interested in the variant or anything like that. Just a 77% good value. I would really lean towards the like 85, 90 plus if you wanna really be happy about a particular bundle. So this one, is okay, but not something you really have to get if you care about progression. I don't know. Alright, let's take a look at some of the Datamine cards. We're gonna get right into it. So the first one we have is Red Hulk. This is looking to be kind of like the opposite of Evolved Hulk here, where instead of kind of like a mini counter, if your opponent's ending a turn with unspent energy, you +4 power. So if it's in hand or play, so just like Evolved Hulk, just kind of the opposite. So it gets a little bit, it's much better scaling, I would say, than Evolved Hulk. The downside, in my opinion, is that you don't get to control this. However, if you do get it like one proc, which isn't like that unusual, it's a 614, which is kind of like Giganto. If you get 2 procs to 618, which is pretty good. So 2 procs is really where you'd be happy. I just think that it's gonna be hard to plan for this, right? Like how are you going to get your opponent to be skipping energy at will? I don't know how you force that in the game state we currently have right now. So I think a lot of games it's gonna be a 614 maybe. And is that like something I'm like super happy to play? Not really. So I'm not super sold on this card. I just think it's, I guess, a little bit boring. Not that it's bad, but I don't know how you control your opponent to skip energy at will. Like, yes, if they're playing high evolutionary, yeah, okay. Well, that sucks for them, but other than that, like, I think a lot of decks use their energy efficiently, so that's kind of my issue with this card, so I'm not really super hyped for this one. Next up, we have Baron Zemo. So this is a particularly weird card. It's a 4/6, which stat line is... Honestly, I would say at this point, like, that's not a good stat line unless the effect is good. I will say the effect is sometimes good, right? You add the lowest cost card from your opponent's deck here to your side. So that is a RNG level ability, right? Like sometimes you're going to pull something very good, and then sometimes you're going to get like a 1-drop or a 2-drop. So I would say like in a lot of cases you're going to get a 1 or 2, especially if you play this on 4. So that would turn it into like a 4/8, a 4/9, that type of card. Like that's like a low roll in my, to be fair, right? But that's still like, I wouldn't say a 4/9 is like that crazy. It's not bad, but it's not like super crazy. I do think, and this is a season pass card, so it is going to be something people are going to test out and see. It does have bad matchups. I just think there's a lot of like, Thanos doesn't care, right? Like if you pull a stone, you're not that happy. Like if you get like the move stone or even like the soul stone, it's like, eh. And generally there's a lot of decks that just have like these like 1/2 Iceman, 1/2 Spider Ham, that type of thing that you pull that you're not super happy. I do think that if you build around this card could be very good, right? There are cards to mill your opponent's deck. You could play Maximus, you could play Gladiator, you can even play like Yondu, stuff like that. Like cards that could just like get rid of your opponent's cards in your deck. Then you can force the deck to have like 1 card left, pull it with Yondu, and if you have 1 card left, it's like you're gonna get whatever they get. You're like whatever is left, right? So you might just pull their biggest card, like maybe that's their last card. So I think if you build around Baron Zemo, this could be a very good card. I do think there are going to be some matchups where this doesn't do anything, but I think there are also going to be some really good opportunities where this could be a really powerful tool. So I'm hopeful for this card. I think this card could be very, very good. So interesting to see this card being released. I would say. All right, let's move on. Next up, we have U.S. Agent. I'm gonna move my camera. We're going to the other side. Oh, I'm too far. Alright, so this one is ongoing -1 power for each of your other cards here. Kind of boring, honestly. I mean, sometimes you need boring cards. Like, this just reminds me of Lizard. Just a 2/6 Lizard. Honestly, that's where I look at this. Is just a 2/6 Lizard. Its potential is way better than, well, not way better. It's better than Lizard, right? Because let's say Lizard, you fill the your opponent fills their lane, you end up with a 2/1 Lizard. Let's say you fill your lane here, you get a 2/3, because it doesn't count for itself, right? So you get a 2/3 Lizard, like, theoretically, right? So this just seems like power creep Lizard to me. It's better with all the Lizard decks, right? Sauron makes a 2/6, Zero makes a 2/6. Like, it's just a better Lizard. So if you're playing Lizard, you just get this, and now you have a better Lizard. So, like, that's good if you're playing Shuri decks and maybe ongoing Spectrum decks as well. Things like that, but it's not like fancy. It doesn't look like it's gonna make new decks or anything like that. It's just like a power creep Lizard, sure. And this next one, I don't think will be released. This is giving me old Super Giant vibes. It's so broken. This this card is so crazy like this. Add a -1 Widow's Kiss to your opponent's side here, and you can see the Widow's Kiss. Your other cards here have -1 power, so it's a 1 power -1. That does mean it's you can kill it with Killmonger, sure, but like, who's running that much Killmonger in the, like, it's not that common. So generally, it's going to be a -1 that will make your other cards -1. That's like a -3, a -4, on top of being a 2/2. So it's like a 2/6 that gives your opponent a problem card to deal with that auto wins that lane, and it also works like has a Green Goblin effect where you can just destroy some lanes for free, like any lockdown lane, any like Space Stone, Cloning Vats, any of those, even Sinister London. Like, this is just crazy good. I don't see how you can release a card like this. This, to be fair, this is like my favorite type of card, to be fair, because it's so annoying and it has so many, like, that's why I really like I'm a Green Goblin fan. I just don't have that many decks I could use it in, but I like that type of effect. This is that on steroids. It's essentially you're playing Hood Viper on one card on turn 2, right? Like, that's what you're doing. You're playing Hood and Viper in one card on turn 2. Like, how is that balanced? I don't imagine this sticking around like through their playtesting at all. So, almost not even worth discussing to me, because I just don't see how you can release something like this. So, yeah, definitely, I would say the most broken card here by far, but I also don't think it's gonna get released like this. So, that's my current thoughts there. But yeah, definitely, if it does, like, we'll talk about it. But I just don't see it. And then next up, last we have Valentina. So this one's kind of unique. So you add a random 6-cost card to your hand. You give it -2 cost and -2 power. That's quite good. I think that's really good, honestly. The downside, of course, is you're playing a 2/2, but you should make up for it usually with the 4-cost card you get, right? There's a lot of good 6-cost cards that if you can play early is pretty nice. Doctor Doom jumps out. That's the only one. No, I'm kidding. Blob, generally there's a lot of pretty good ones. Even Eliath. Eliath's a little bit. Eliath makes like a 4-cost Eliath. Like that's reasonable. So, and I think another really useful curve is where you're absolutely going to see this card being played is Loki decks. Like absolutely, this is a Loki card for sure. Because like the curve is so godly good. You play Quinjet Valentina into turn 3 6-drop. Like that's such a good combo. And I definitely think you're going to see that. So this is going to see some play for sure. And even in non Quinjet decks, like just a 4-cost 6, like sometimes it might not be like the 6 costs you want, but sometimes you're just gonna get like really good 6-drop to play on 4, and you're really happy. It also can just like give you different deck design strategies. I like a lot of the card generation type cards, but they're usually like kind of weird to play. This one is definitely one of the more flexible ones, and a pretty good payoff in a lot of games. So definitely see this seeing some action. So pretty excited to see that one as well. So honestly, to me, there's a mix of interesting cards for me and then non-interesting cards. Right? Interesting cards: Baron Zemo, Valentina. I think White Widow is broken, not going to be released this way. Not interesting cards: Red Hulk, U.S. Agent. Like they're just big stat sticks. I guess maybe I don't like those type of cards, but yeah, definitely an interesting balance. Maybe some people are like, I love Red Hulk. It's just not me. So definitely a cool setup. As long as they fix this White Widow in particular, I think we'll be somewhat happy. And then we have the updated cards as well. So yeah, definitely looking to be a cool season when this comes out. But we'll talk about it more when it gets closer. So that is the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Educated calling snap. Once you watch him, you won't go back. He'll teach you to Marvel Snap. Your skills will be